Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, May 27th, around 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. Old region AR3664 is still active. An X2.9 solar flare was observed around the returning region at 7:08 UTC today. The event is also responsible for an energetic coronal mass ejection now emerging in updated coronagraphs. Let's take a quick look at the flare. There it is, off the backside of the sun. Good news, that was not Earth-facing. And for those who served, we honor you today. Happy Memorial Day, ladies and gentlemen. The reason you are living in the free country of the United States of America. Keep calm. It's boom time. At least 23 killed in tornado-spawning storms sweeping the central U.S. over Memorial Day weekend. Yes, you heard that correctly. At least 23 people, including 4 children, are dead in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Alabama after severe weather and tornadoes struck the central U.S. this weekend. And the threat continues as it moves east. And the damage is pervasive. Now, millions along the I-95 corridor are facing severe weather threat on Memorial Day as the deadly weekend storms shift east, and millions are headed home from the holiday weekend. And the severe weather is going to continue through the Northeast for the next 3 to 6 hours. Heed the warnings. Full forecast is just ahead. Texas heat map as urgent warning is issued. It's just the southern tip of Texas, and the heat is going to be limited for the next week or so to the very southern portion of the United States. We'll get to that map also. This is some bad news. Lightning strike kills Colorado rancher and 34 head of cattle. According to a Colorado sheriff's office, they say a lightning strike has killed a rancher and 34 head of cattle. We started warning you almost a decade ago about the increase in hail size and lightning, and we've been reporting on it ever since. A lightning strike has killed a Colorado rancher and 34 head of cattle over the weekend, according to officials. Mike Morgan, 51, was feeding his cattle from a trailer when he was struck and died on the scene despite life-saving efforts, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office said. The lightning bolt struck on a wide-open pasture outside the town of Rand, about 80 miles northwest of Denver. The strike also bowled over 100 head of cattle that had bunched around the trailer loaded with hay, said Crockett. All but 34 got up. That is a sad story, and our prayers go out to the family. Here's the forecast. Dangerous heat continues across the South for Memorial Day. Severe thunderstorms along the East Coast. A dangerous early season heat wave over South Texas, the nexus of the Schmexis. The central Gulf Coast as well and southern Florida will persist through Memorial Day, and that will extend all the way into the first week of June. We'll show you the thermodynamics in just a moment. At or near record daily high temperatures and a heat index readings of over 115 degrees are possible, which happens every summer, by the way. Along the eastern seaboard, strong to severe thunderstorms are expected to develop this afternoon and linger into the evening hours. I find it interesting how the mainstream media is oblivious to the fact that in the summer there's record heat almost every year. Every year there's records broken. All right, so here you see the severe weather threat in the Northeast going to linger for the next 3 to 6 hours. Within 6 hours, it'll be moving off the coast of Maine, which is good news. But in the next 3 to 6 hours, it could be very spicy in Vermont and New Hampshire, and as well as Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Maine. So heed the warnings. It looks like the severe weather threat then pops up Tuesday, which could be your lose day in Louisiana and Texas, the next of the Schmexes for the evening hours as more severe weather moves through the South. All the way through the end of the week. Here is Friday. It looks like it's getting spicy as well through the central U.S. So heed the warnings. Let's take a quick look at the thermodynamics, and we're going to pull up the 2-meter shaded where you can clearly see where that heat is. And we'll just walk it through day by day. You can see that extreme heat on the tip of Texas as well as Florida. Here is the weekend. Let's move it through. Here's Monday. So now we're at Tuesday. You can see it's going to be heating up in the south. There is going to be a line of all above 90 degrees just below this line here, which is pretty normal for summer. None of this heat is penetrating far north. Here's Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to stay hot. It's going to moderate over Florida there, and the heat moves to the southwest. By the end of the month here on May 30th, 31st, here's June 1st. The heat is going to be concentrated in the southwest all the way up through the valleys in California. Albeit it is always hot there. Yeah, we're not looking at any crazy temperatures until we hit June, where we're going to be seeing 104 in southern Arizona, which is pretty normal for that area. And it will be hot in the southwest, everywhere except for where we are. Look at that nice cold green there. Holy macaroni. We certainly picked the right spot to live now, didn't we? Papua New Guinea says Friday's landslide buried more than 2,000 now. We went from 300 to 700. Now we're over 2,000 casualties with 1,100 homes being buried. Very sad situation. They finally formally asked the world for help in the recovery as they're using shovels, for goodness sakes, there to move 1 trillion tons of debris with some shovels. Yeah, that's going to go pretty good. They have recovered less than 10 of the bodies so far, so there is a lot of work to be done there. Bad news, and our prayers go out to all those affected. As we move over to seismic update, no real quakes of note, moderate uptick in low-level activity worldwide, especially the west coast of the U.S. No quakes of concern, which is good news. Kilauea volcano, heightened unrest continues today after a lull in activity over the last 3 days, which means that, well, another eruption may be imminent. Scientists observed an increase in seismic activity beneath the Kilauea summit on Sunday morning with the onset of low-frequency energy pulses, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Very low-level activity happening right now as far as seismicity. Worldwide volcano news update. We've got White Island volcano, yet another gas steam-laden plume. You can see here it might enter a new eruptive phase. Good news that there are no tourists on the island. Here's a look at Stromboli. I hope you're getting hungry. And we did report yesterday that there was a new lava flow, and in fact confirmed in the daylight hours here. Lava flow is cooling, and the new Hornito in the North Crater. Santa Guido to 14,000 feet today, Fuego to 15, Sabancaya to 24,000, Semaru to 14,000, Raventador, 14,000 foot puff, 24,000 foot from Sabancaya, 14,000 from Semaru, 21 from Sangay, 15 from Fuego, Popo to 18, Santa Guido to 14, Stromboli puffing and passing, Sabancaya to 22, who knew? Now you do. Ducono to 10,000 feet today, and the most recent report, Semaru to 14,000, and that is your worldwide volcano news for the day. Hey, hey. Space weather, big uptick today. Take a look at that X-flare, X2.9, not facing Earth, not even visible from Earth off the backside, as old active region 3664 rotates back into view. It is, well, let's just take a look from the beginning here. You can see that massive coronal mass ejection associated with the X2.9 solar flare happening earlier today. And we're just going to be moving through the video footage thanks to SDOA1A and solarham.com. Here we can see that CME blast away from the sun. 99.9%, 100% of that material is going to be moving away from Earth, actually. There was a radio blackout because of this blast, and we may be experiencing a proton storm because of it. And so we'll take a quick look at the protons in just a second until we get through all of the video there. Look at that CME. Massive. Thank you, Solarham. Well, the good news is that there appears to be no radiation storm incoming. So good news there. That simply means the flare was too far around the backside of the limb to be anywhere geo-effective whatsoever. But it does mean that the coming week is going to be a spicy one as this sunspot region turns into view in the next 24 to 48 hours. Will it stay active? Well, it's anyone's guess. Cross your fingers. But I personally am hoping for a kill shot based on the state of affairs of our country and the world. Have you heard the world's first bioprocessors use 16 human brain organoids for 1 million times less power consumption than a digital chip? But this also crosses the line into strange transhumanism, where we're using human biology to power computers. I don't know if I support any of this garbage, any of this AI, any of this transhumanism, bionics, cyborgs, and the like. I think this is all very dangerous for the future of humanity and life on Earth. And that's a boom to knowledge. I'm editing the video from the Crow Canyon Petroglyph Tour. We had a great time. One of the greatest events we've ever had with some of the most awesome heroes that I've ever had the pleasure of being in the presence of. Please hit the thumbs up, share this video, become a Patreon, support the work we do. We love you. Be safe. And that is a boom.